This video is dangerous, not because I am going to tell you something you have never heard before. It is dangerous because if you truly understand what I am about to show you, you may stop giving certain people access to your mind, and that can be uncomfortable because some of the people who hurt you are no longer thinking about you. They moved on, they made new friends, started new routines, laughed, slept, and continued living, while a part of you may still be standing inside a moment that ended months or even years ago. You remember what they said, you remember their tone, you remember the exact moment something inside you changed, and sometimes when you are alone you replay it again. You imagine what you should have said, what you could have done differently, what you wish they understood. You tell yourself you are only trying to make sense of it, that once you finally understand why they did what they did, you will finally be able to let it go. But what if understanding is not what you are missing? What if the real problem is that your mind has learned to return to the same wound, because there is a difference between remembering something and continuing to live inside it? The event happened once, but your mind can make it happen 1,000 times, and every time you return to it, you give it another piece of your attention, another minute, another evening, another night, when you could have been sleeping, building, creating, or simply living. But instead you were back there again, with the same person, the same words, the same unanswered questions, the same imaginary conversation that somehow never reaches an ending. Marcus Aurelius understood something about this that remains uncomfortable even now. He lived through war, political betrayal, personal loss, disease, pressure, and the constant responsibility of ruling an empire. He had more reasons than most people ever will to become bitter, and yet again and again he returned to the same battlefield, his own mind. Because the Stoics understood a distinction that can completely change the way you experience your life. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can become much more careful about what you allow to happen inside you. Afterward, that distinction is where your freedom begins. Think about what happens when someone hurts you. The event itself may last 10 minutes. A conversation, a message, a betrayal, a rejection. Then the physical event ends, but your mind can continue producing new versions of it for years. You replay the conversation, you argue with them in your head, you imagine a better ending, you prove that you were right, you imagine them finally understanding, and every time you do it, your body responds as if the event has returned. Your chest tightens, your anger rises, your sadness comes back. And then you wonder why you are still affected by something that happened so long ago. The answer is simple. The calendar moved forward, but your attention kept going backward. That is the part nobody teaches you. A wound can be real without deserving permanent residence in your mind. What happened mattered, but that does not mean it needs to keep happening. This is where the first Stoic practice begins: awareness. The next time an old memory appears, do not immediately fight it, and do not immediately follow it either. Pause and name what is happening. Say quietly, I am remembering. Not they are hurting me again. Not I need to solve this right now. Just I am remembering. That sentence creates distance, because a memory is not an event, a thought is not a command, an emotion is not an instruction. You are allowed to experience something without obeying it. You can feel anger without sending the message. You can feel rejection without chasing the person. You can feel sadness without turning it into a story about your worth. The Stoics did not try to become people who never felt anything. They trained themselves to become people who could feel deeply without surrendering their judgment. Imagine a wave coming toward the shore. You do not have to fight the ocean. You do not have to chase the wave away. You simply do not have to become the wave. Let it arrive, let it move, let it leave. Your mind will produce memories, it will produce fears, it will produce old conversations, it will produce things you thought you had already forgotten. That is not failure, the practice is what you do. Next, do you enter the memory or do you notice the door and keep walking? Practice 2. Stop feeding the fire. Attention is a form of energy, and whatever you repeatedly give your attention to begins to acquire weight. A person can become powerful in your life without speaking to you. A memory can become powerful without anything new happening. A wound can become an identity if you keep returning to it long enough. And that is why resentment is so dangerous, not because anger is always wrong. Anger can tell you that something mattered. It can tell you that a boundary was crossed. It can tell you that something needs to change. But anger was designed to move. It was never meant to become furniture. You were never meant to build a home inside it. So the second practice is simple. Stop feeding the fire. When the memory appears, notice what happens next. Do you check their profile? Do you reread the old messages? Do you imagine what they are doing now? Do you tell someone else the story again? Do you rehearse the argument? Do you search for evidence that proves you were right? These things can feel like investigation, but sometimes they are simply fuel. The original spark may be gone, and you are still carrying wood to the fire. You do not need to extinguish the memory, you need to stop supplying it. There is a difference. You can say, yes, that happened, without saying, and now I am going to spend another hour inside it. That is strength, not suppression, selection. You are selecting what receives another hour of your life, and your life is made of hours. This is why the Stoics cared so deeply about attention, because they understood that your life is not only what happens to you, your life is also what you repeatedly choose to notice. Think about how much of your day disappears into things that never physically happen. Arguments that exist only in your head, conversations that never occur, judgments that you imagine other people are making, old situations that cannot be changed. You can spend an entire afternoon fighting a battle that has no battlefield and then arrive at night exhausted. Not because life demanded that much from you, but because your mind did. So create another boundary before you sleep. Take 5 minutes. Write down whatever kept returning during the day. Divide the page into 2 parts. On one side, write what happened, which belongs to the past. On the other side, write what is mine now, which includes your behavior choices, work boundaries, and next decision. Then ask one final question: what can I actually control tomorrow? Write the answer, close the notebook, and let the day end. You may be surprised by how much mental weight disappears when you stop demanding that your mind solve everything before you are allowed to rest. Because some questions do not have answers. Some people will never apologize. Some people will never understand what they did to you. Some conversations will never be repaired. And if your peace depends on those things changing, you have handed the keys to a door you should be guarding yourself. You do not need their regret to begin recovering. You do not need their apology to sleep. You do not need their understanding to know what happened. You can take the lesson and leave the weight. Now imagine the real test. Your phone lights up tonight. Their name appears. Or maybe it is an old photograph, a song, a place, one small reminder, and suddenly the entire story comes rushing back. The old version of you reacts immediately. You reread the message, your body tightens. You start writing a response. You delete it, write another. You imagine what they will say. You imagine finally making them understand. Now it is midnight. The message took 30 seconds to send, but it has taken 3 hours from your life. The disciplined response looks different. 1. You notice the reaction. 2. You do not shame yourself for having it. 3. You put the phone down. 4. You breathe. 5. You wait. Tomorrow, if it still matters, you decide what to do. Maybe you respond, maybe you do not. But the decision belongs to the calm version of you, not the wounded version. That small pause is where character is. Built not in dramatic moments, but in the quiet moments when nobody is watching. The moment you do not send the message, the moment you do not check, the moment you allow someone to misunderstand you without chasing them for approval, the moment you choose sleep over another argument with someone who is not even there, the moment you stop and eventually something changes, you notice you are thinking about them less. You stop checking, you stop rehearsing, you stop needing the apology as badly. You hear their name and nothing inside you collapses. The past has not changed, your relationship with it has. And that is the deeper goal. You were never trying to erase what happened, you were trying to stop what happened from owning what comes next. You can remember without returning, you can learn without carrying, you can acknowledge the wound without reopening it every night. You can say it hurt me, it mattered, it changed me, but it does not get to decide who I become. That is Stoic strength, not becoming cold, but becoming governed, not becoming emotionless, but becoming deliberate, not avoiding pain, but learning what pain is allowed to build inside you. Because life will hurt you again, people will disappoint you again, memories will return again. You cannot create a life where nothing disturbs you, but you can build a mind that is disturbed without being destroyed. Think about the ocean during a storm. At the surface, everything is violent. Waves rise, wind tears across the water, but deeper down the water becomes still. The storm has not disappeared. It simply cannot reach the deepest part. That is the kind of mind you are trying to build. A mind where the surface can move while the foundation remains steady. Someone can reject you without defining your worth. Someone can leave without taking your future. Someone can misunderstand you without forcing you to spend your life explaining yourself. Someone can hurt you without deciding what kind of person you become afterward. And perhaps this is why this video is dangerous, because once you understand this, the past loses one of its strongest weapons. You can no longer tell yourself that your peace must wait for someone else to change. They may never change, they may never apologize, they may never understand, and you can still become free, not by pretending the past did not matter, but by refusing to give it another tomorrow. So when the old thought returns tonight, do not fear it. Notice it, name it, ask, is there something I need to do about this, or is my mind simply asking me to visit an old room? If there is something to do, do it. If there is nothing to do, leave the room. Your life is waiting outside it. There are mornings you have not lived yet. There are people you have not met. There are things you have not built. There are parts of yourself you have not discovered. Do not spend all of that future paying interest on an old debt. The person who hurt you may have taken something from your past, but they do not automatically own your future. That part is still yours. Your attention is yours. Your next decision is yours. Your response is yours. And slowly, one quiet choice at a time, you take your mind back. You do not need to forget. You need to stop returning. You do not need revenge. You need release. You do not need them to understand your pain. You need to understand where your power begins. And it begins here, with the next thought you choose not to feed. If you are ready to stop giving your past tomorrow, write 3 words: I choose peace. Not because nothing happened, because something did happen, and you are choosing what happens next. Stay iron. Subscribe to improve your mindset and decision-making. Stoic Iron.